So, Boston avoids the sweep, and we're gonna head back to Boston for game 5. And I did not see this one actually coming. I thought they were gonna get swept, and they showed up, which fits Boston and how they are. It's kind of weird, but we've seen the confidence. I'm not sure if confidence or arrogance or irrational confidence or a mixture of everything in them, where Al Horford said, yeah, we got this one to Robert Williams, per some reports. Jaylen Brown said, don't let us win one. Marcus Smart, I'm pretty sure, said, don't let us win one. So I guess that had to help in some ways for them to be able to come here in game 4 and just get the win and prolong this series, which Denver has to be the happiest about, that's for sure. And let's talk about the game. So, early on, Al Horford started to hit from the outside, which we have not seen pretty much even in the Philly series that much, and he has had a rough postseason overall offensively, and he was great tonight offensively, so that helps. 12, 7 and 4 in his 25 minutes, he was sensational, and that was the only early sign I got that was great from Boston. Otherwise, it all felt like the same. There were still so many easy blow-bys by the Heat, especially here. There were so many bad Tatum and Jaylen Brown dribbling moments to their left, some dumb turnovers from the Celtics, and some great ball movement by the Heat, where they took the 10-point lead early on in the first quarter. They had a 9-point lead in the second quarter. And the Celtics continued to take way too many shots that were just too early in the shot clock, whether it was Derek White, whether it was Jayson Tatum, whether it was Malcolm Brogdon, and they just prefer to take those quick shots before the defense is set instead of maybe better shots. But it has been them the whole season, so they are staying true to their identity, and Tatum looked just completely rough this series, and I was about to, if it continued this game just like the first quarter was, I was about to say Caleb Martin outplayed Jayson Tatum in a playoff series. But hey, he showed up big time in the second half, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. Yeah, then I had written down exactly what I described it about the quick shots. It's crazy how many times the Celtics just settle and take a bad or a meh shot instead of creating some better shots for no goddamn reason other than to just push the pace, I guess. What continued to prevail throughout this series is that they had some timely offensive rebounds, the Celtics did, especially in the first half, which helped them stay afloat and not get lost in the sauce too much. I think Tatum had one, Marcus Smart pretty sure had at least one or two, Al Horford even had one, that were just crucial for them to, stay within reach the Miami Heat. And Caleb Martin, like I said, he was playing so well once again in that first half. And I was about to say he was gonna outplay Tatum throughout the playoff series. But that would have been an overreaction anyway, because Tatum clearly is still better. Even if he finished today horribly and played bad, just like in Game 3, I don't think, obviously he would have had a quote-unquote better series. But hopefully somebody gets my point here, as in terms of value and expected performance, right? And when we are talking about expected performances, Malcolm Brogdon has been horrific this series. He has had a really rough series offensively and even defensively, which is exactly why I liked him playing just 16 minutes tonight and Grant Williams getting those minutes, as he had his revenge and had his game in the playoff with 14 points, 4 3-pointers, 2 free throws, 6 rebounds. He was plus 16. Plus 15, so great job by him. But one thing that prevailed the Celtics in this game, besides the offensive rebounds, was that Jimmy Butler had a rough night offensively. He just didn't have it going early on, and the Heat were kind of jacking up 3-pointers also to kind of hit the dagger on them early. It felt very reminiscent of my Golden State Warriors, who love to just hit those dagger 3-pointers in the first quarter, if there is such a thing. And Jimmy just took a long time to get going. It was not until they were down 10 in the third quarter where Jimmy Butler finally got going and was way more assertive and aggressive. But it was a little too late, as Boston just caught way too much rhythm, and when Tatum's back against the wall, he always seems to just show up big time, besides those finals. But most of the time when it feels like Tatum's done, he just shows up, and he did that in the third quarter. He had so many huge buckets in that third quarter, and as soon as he called rhythm, it helped free up everyone else also, and everyone called rhythm. Especially through the horrible turnovers that the Miami Heat had. They were finally making more extra passes, creating more open shots and knocking them down. And this game felt more like the regular season in the way how the teams played, right? Boston was shooting lights out. Miami was not shooting well. It was more so following the regular season script than the playoff script, if you follow what I'm saying here. The Heat shot 8 of 32, while the Celtics were 18 of 45, which, I mean, that's such a huge difference. You're not gonna win like that. Boston was also more solid defensively. They were better cutting off those passing lanes, way more active in those passing lanes, which is why there were many turnovers. Also, the Heat kinda had too many telegraph passes where they were just throwing it into the pick and roll too early, and there were some really bad turnovers by them, and just not enough focus, it felt like. And then in that fourth quarter, Miami went to the zone when they were down 10, cut it back to 5. Tatum came in, hit that one mid-range shot in the middle, and kinda disrupted the zone early on, and the Celtics just took off from there. The Heat just didn't have enough today. Jimmy Butler said himself that it's more so good for them. It's not that it gives momentum to Boston, but that it wakes up the Heat more, that they will play with more urgency, and they seemed more than content with it. And I don't see them losing 4 straight. Of course, there is a chance, maybe, since Boston has 2 games at home, but they have been not great at home. And I think Jimmy Butler has at least one 40-point game in him that will lead to a Heat victory. So I still think the Heat got this. I'm not sure if they will win in Boston in 5. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But if they do not win Game 5, they'll win Game 6. I'm 100% certain of it. And now that I've guaranteed it, I've jinxed them. And now I can go into the jinx conundrum. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of happy that this series got prolonged, because the downtime between, if the Celtics got swept, would have been 10 days between this and the NBA Finals. And I just like talking and watching NBA basketball. Even though there's WNBA, there's going to be some good Spanish basketball that I'm going to watch. There's going to be the Czech Finals that I'm excited for. So it's not like there's shortage of basketball, but it's better that there will be some more NBA basketball before the NBA Finals.